Pisces, your grief is not going unnoticed. And your grief is not for no reason. I don't know if some of you have just lost someone. I'm feeling that some of you are feeling you're tired. You're praying. We've been talking a lot about stepping into this new timeline and endings. And for you, maybe there's some endings that happen that you were not expecting, and maybe some of those endings were people that transitioned, and it's leaving you feeling exhausted and like when will this end? But just remember that I don't know if this is going to make you feel better or not. This is not definitely not to trivialize anyone's sorrow, pain, or grief. Because we all have to go through the grieving process for whatever it is that we've lost, whoever it is that we've lost. But there is a sense of almost like you're feeling like, my goodness, I thought like, I didn't think there would be any more grief. I thought, maybe in this new timeline that there wouldn't be grief, but there's always grief. I think there's always transition. And we like to say everything happens for a reason, but when you're going through grief, when you're going through the pain of losing someone or something that you really thought was going to be in your life for a lot longer, it's like that pain can sometimes be intolerable. But just remember that there'll be moments where you need to rest, where you need to cry. And crying, part of crying is releasing. And there will be days where you feel bitter and angry, and that's also normal. That's part of the grief. There'll be days where you're angry. Your anger, I don't feel really pettiness, but you might feel petty towards whoever it is that you believe in. Like, why you? Why you? Why does this continue happening to you? So I just think that you just need to continue to cleanse your energy. There's something about your this loss that's going to bring in something for you. I don't want to say, because sometimes we lose people that are near and dear to us, and so we don't ever want to say like, oh, we're using those people to get the things that we want in life. There is something about this loss. Like, there's an epiphany that's going to come to you through this loss, which is going to lead you to be very, very creative. Maybe you're going to transmute that loss and this pain that you have into something greater and bigger. And it's not just about you getting money. This is about you helping others release their own anxiety. Maybe whatever loss it is that you've gone through, you're going to be sharing your pain with others so that they too can see that that it will be okay. And what's really interesting about this, as this came up, was that I was watching, I think it's Guyana Carib woman, who she just had a loss, by the way. And maybe that's what triggered this. I don't know. I think she just lost her daughter. And, condolences and my prayers are definitely with her, because I can't even imagine like losing a child. That's crazy. You know, I can't even imagine the way that grief that you feel, because when you have your children, they're they're tied to you, especially if you're an empath. Like, you are tied to your children. Like, I know for me, I know if something's wrong with my kids. I have a sense. I have a sixth sense about that. My intuition knows, my heart knows, my soul knows. So usually when they call, I can tell when the phone rings if it's going to be a good call before I answer, or if it's going to be a call like something's wrong. So So I can't even imagine that type of loss. But there was something she said. I think it was in her last upload that she made. And she said something about she asked her children for forgiveness. She has other children. And so while they were grieving together, celebrating her daughter, the one that passed away together, she said that she had said so many ugly things to her kids, like through life. Like she read something, and I don't know, it just came to her that I need to repent. I need the forgiveness of my children. So the children that she had there with her, she said, please forgive me. It's almost like forgive me my trespasses. And as your mom, and they were like, no, mom, like we forgive you already. She said, no, no, like you don't understand. Like I needed to ask for this forgiveness because I now realize, like she just had like an awakening, and every awakening we have usually comes through some kind of pain. Unfortunately, usually. Hopefully it's not always that way. I don't know. But a lot of the awakenings come through some kind of pain or some type of lesson that we had, some type of lesson we learned through some pain that we had. And what's really interesting about that upload that she made, that what she said was that I just felt like it was almost as if my parents were asking me for forgiveness. And, whatever trespasses I think that my parents have made against me, I've already forgiven them. But in a sense, it was healing. It was so healing to hear her. It was almost like it was my own mom. You know what I mean? My own dad, my own parent asking me for forgiveness and me seeing, because I always say that we're so angry with our parents as we're growing up, and that leads to a lot of blocks in our lives. And that we don't even realize, but those things that they've done and they've said, right, led to a lot of blocks in our lives also. But we perpetuated those blocks by not forgiving, and it's when we start to forgive that we can realize that our parents too maybe had their traumas and things that they needed to forgive. Maybe they haven't worked through. Maybe the awakenings that you've had, they haven't had them. And then maybe you don't put yourself in harm's way where they're going to make you feel bad, right? Maybe you have to remove yourself, but there's a sense of forgiveness, and there's a sense that there's going, like it was like there's hope for our parents, the ones who we feel haven't realized the harm that they've done. There's hope for them to see. And that if they don't, even if they don't see, it's okay. And it was almost like she was out here sharing this forgiveness that she was asking for, but it's like she was talking to everyone, all of her viewers, and just saying, and it felt like, for me anyway, it felt like my parents talking to me and saying, please forgive me. And it was so soothing, and it was so you never know through your pain and how sharing your pain, because I'm sure it was hard for her to get on. It's been hard for her to still get on and talk about whatever happened with her daughter and how her daughter transitioned and all of that and the pain that she's going through. But as she shares her pain, she's providing healing to others. So I think that for many of you, it's the same. I see that here, providing healing for others, taking anxiety away from others, helping others realize that it's okay to forgive. It's okay not to be bitter and angry. It's okay to rest and to pray and to ask for help, to ask your spirit team for help to get you through those tough moments. It's okay not to juggle. It's okay to hold on, it's okay to hold on to the memories that you have, right? Those moments that you shared. Sometimes we hold on to those memories for dear life because it's all you have left. And but still, it's like being in a relationship, and I don't want to liken it to that because having someone transition is not the same. But like it's like being in a relationship with someone, and you're angry, right? You break up and it's all the bad things. That's all you can remember. And as time passes, the things that you hold on to are the good memories. So, there's going to be good things about whatever it is that has happened that you can hold on to, which will allow you to forgive even your parents. Because the thing is that you can't, as you move into this next phase, you cannot move on without forgiving your parents, without forgiving yourself if you've trespassed against your children, because are none of us are perfect, right? When we're busy being upset with our parents, we don't realize that sometimes we're perpetuating the same behaviors with our kids, and we're perpetuating the damage into the next generation. I feel like the buck stops here. Look at that memory, 6 of Cups. Looking back, sadness, grief about what, about the cups that are left, that are left behind, that you can't take with you because they're gone. However it is that they're gone. But there's there's a new day, and there's happiness, and you're going to have these memories that you take with you. You're going to have the pain that you share, and it's going to help a lot of people. A lot of people. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing like all these daisies. I think they're daisies, right? They're all like people surrounding you, getting a glimpse, you sharing a glimpse of your memories with people, glimpse of your pain, a glimpse of your trials, your tribulations, what you had to overcome, your shadows, right? Those are the hardest things to share. I've many times had to apologize to my own children and about different things, and it's like, wow, there's nothing more rewarding, I think, than to be able to do that, to be able to step into that side of yourself and see yourself for who you have been, so that you can move into who you want to be, and allowing your kids to see that that you're fallible, that you're not perfect. I don't know, somebody out there needs to hear that. That that you that maybe you didn't always use, maybe you use your intuition at one point, at one point you were using, you always had everyone has intuition, but sometimes we use our intuition to manipulate, and that's even our own children. Maybe we use our intuition to manipulate. And now you're learning how to just sit back, be quiet, and use your intuition for good, and let others step into their calling without trying to control them. High Priestess. When you ascend and step into a new timeline, that doesn't mean that there aren't always endings. I think there's always endings of whatever it is. There's always something new. You're always growing. You're always learning something new about yourself, something new about the people around you. People come, people go. Because there are people that are meant to be for a lifetime. People are here for a season, and there's others that are here for a reason. And sometimes those things intermingle, right? But sometimes there's a time to walk away, to start new, but to always know that the love is there. Just because you have to see all the cups are all standing. They're all upright. They're not spilled. But it's just time to move on. It's never easy. Whatever the loss. I've had, look at this Nine of Pentacles. You have a good life ahead of you, you know, and I can remember a time where my house was foreclosed on, and I just thought I had to move back in with my mom. It was like a crazy time for me. And that loss, I went through a divorce, a lot of things happened. And you just never know what life is going to bring, because sometimes it feels like things are coming to an end. And then when you get up and you look and you're like, oh my gosh, this worked out better than I ever thought it could. As bad as the ending was, getting to the good time is a little rough. You go through those rough waters to get to that other side sometimes. But you have the courage. You have what it takes to get to the other side. You're going to be a little bruised and a little stern, right? But you still have heart. You're in the King of Swords in the upright. There's still heart there. Stay in that heart space. Anything else, Spirit? Any other messages for Pisces? The Magician. That's your energy. I feel you're creating magic in your life and then in the life of others. I feel your energy like healing those around you. I feel those like just people being near you is healing. It feels like magic to them. Your aura, your light, even through your pain. It's that aura and that light is visible. Okay. I'm going to close this out, Pisces. It's never easy. I'm going to close this out with an angel number. Spirit says stay strong, stay in your heart space. Simplification. That card's calling my attention, so I'm going to pull it. That's the second time I've seen it as I was shuffling. Simplify your life and focus on what truly matters. Declutter your mind and surroundings for greater clarity and effectiveness. Yeah, sometimes when there are endings, that's kind of ironic. 654 is the angel number. It's ironic because when there are endings, even when people transition, there's a lot of cleaning out that has to be done, right? But that takes time. So I say, yes, simplify your life, but do it in your own time, you know? They'll let you know when it's time. Your spirit team will let you know when it's time. And it's okay to take a step to look back and look at the cups that are spilled, that are gone. you know, and when the time comes, and it's gonna come because the sun is here. The time will come, right? As you're healing, that, and you will heal because the sun is here, that you will walk away and walk towards the sun, towards a happier day. It won't always be this way. All right, Pisces, I'm sending you a lot of love. Thank you for joining me, and let's keep weaving this dream together in this life. Love you. Bye.